Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Today we're playing Cross the Moon, brought to me by the amazing people at Ratalaika Games, ratalaikagames.com. Just been sent this game this morning, guys, once again by the amazing people at Ratalaika Games, to stream on my Twitch channel for my fabulous viewers out there. I'll just post their link in my chat window. There we go, guys. Click on that link, it'll take you to Ratalaika Games website. Hey Jericho, welcome to the stream. Welcome, buddy. How you doing today? Guys, first up, if you like what you see, please feel free to give me a follow on Twitch. I do appreciate it. And if you're watching this back later on my YouTube channel, please feel free to hit that sub button. Thank you in advance. Now, let me tell you what this game's about, guys. It won't be a second, let me just bring up the details. Okay, Cross the Moon. Something once great lies dormant beneath the cold streets of Mallorca's isolated capital, Lamor. When it sleeps, it dreams, and when it dreams, it hunts. Fate's coverage of a young man's mysterious death brings sibling vampires of aura and locks Amanti into a world of occupied obsession and corporate corruption. Meanwhile, a police investigator, Ryuku Atsushiki, pronouncing that completely wrong, arrives in Lamor to find a city whose identity is just severe and broken as her own. The game features a linear visual novel told through the eyes of three protagonists. Around 100,000 words of text, so this game's roughly 6 to 10 hours long, guys. Very long one. A large cast of 24 illustrated characters, 1,000 plus photographs make a story come to life, and hours of original soundtrack. The game's release date is today, the June 18th, 2021. Really, this is the 19th today in Australia, but the game only got sent to me today. It's a one-player game. The gene's adventure, simulation, and visual novel, of course. The publisher, once again, big shout out to Ratalaika Games. The developer is Patrick Ranger. The game size is 1.8 gigabytes, roughly, I do believe. It's available on the Nintendo Switch, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and X. And for those who are playing at home, today I am playing on the Xbox Series X. Yes, I had to install it in the internal hard drive to make it play. Okay. Jericho says, Cross the Moon, lots of words. Yes, it's a visual novel, Jericho. Let's have a look at preferences. Normally this stuff's just all the same. Okay, let's start it up, eh? Let's get into it. This story is a work of fiction. All characters are over the age of 18 unless otherwise noted. It's an odd thing that which I have been taught to regard with a desire of the should in tame of longness and time be helped. Is there that's something of the essence of the thing itself, or that is a medium, a tangled help, and covering memories of sympathy and comfort? Bram Stoker, Dracula. When the moon shone, the light of it so intense it was well known that it indicated a special spiritual activity. The effect of the full moon is such a state of brilliancy and mindfold. Enacted of dreams, enacted of lucidity, enacted of nervous people. I can't read the rest of the words because I started too late. Sorry, guys. It's too quick for me. What's auto mean? Auto, I don't want to skip stuff. I just want to... Okay. You fool yourself into thinking you maybe this time or it will be different. This time, the last piece of yourself will return. Right? Is that what it's all about? And I'm sorry, it's gone and it isn't coming back. It's been 4 years. Give up. Oh, my sweet precious fruit. Go home, Adam. So you walk home, incomplete. That same cool spell blows through the trees again and again. That same cool spell blows through the trees. Interesting backgrounds. As it comes to be, your home awaits you. Claire's father, rest his soul, built this place with his own 2 hands. A home away from home. This place has seen better days, but if you look hard enough, I'm sure you can see it for what it once was. That bookshelf's it's under some weight with those records. That's better. It was a different time back then. back when everything was so dead simple. But now the precious madam has flown the coop and made the crown wonders on, raving this vacant land, the static snow globe of a prison. And you, Deanna, are the only one left to keep this place warm. Ah, if only we could go back to the way things were. Jericho, pitches. Yes, Jericho. Weird pitches, buddy. A second start. It's been a long cycle of your eyes deserve a rest. I can't get myself over that shelf bending. It's buckling under that weight. I'm guessing they're records, because that's a record player underneath, above me. Take it easy. Take it in. Cross the moon. Moon lies back. Moon made flesh. Ah, the dreaded double album. So indulgent and rarely unnecessary. Do you remember it? Moon looks back, side A. Does it ring any bells? Because it will. You can be damn sure of that. So it'll come knocking back. That's a blood moon for you. A shattered blood moon. Very weird, Jericho says. Ah, yeah. Bit of a dark start. It's pretty cool. You seem a little out of there, Anna. So I'm not sure just how much of this you remember. Allow me and the music to guide you. You get this creepy feel to this game. There's a real creepy vibe. Do you remember cities? You've been gone for a while. There's one called Lamore. It's an old name, long abandoned. Lamore, just like that. Lamore, capital of Armorica, or the American Enclave in France, continues to redraw its own borders wider and wider. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word right, but Armorican. I'm not, but that's how it is for now. Sorry, I'm apologising, guys. But for now, it is still the independent nation of America. It's like America, but America. They have vampires there. Vampires! The moon watches from above. You see Lamore even changing skyline before you. The rest are a mix of old and new, of jagging brick and stone stuffed with an expensive indistinguishable insulation behind its plasterboards. That was a bit of a tongue twister. And recent brutalist. Housing complex, shopping strips and parks abandoned. Adorned with new neon signs with vivid and sweet. You could cut your own tongue on them. In early spring, you remember the season, don't you? And the nights are still cool, though it's still cool to numb your bones. A light jacket will do fine. The night is young and those old enough to remember different times have all died and long since gone to bed. Once again, guys, I'm gonna pronounce my pronunciation of some of these words. If I'm just pronouncing it wrong, I'm gonna say sorry right now. Don't knock me on it. I'm not the best at reading. I'm not the best at reading, guys. It's not my strong. Oh, unloved this helicopters. The sunset warmed the living strip of storefronts opened in the name of desolation of debauchery, of vice and debauchery. Hey, builders, welcome to the stream. Welcome, buddy. Look who is a chief. Boy, on these. Look who's also in the street. I hope. But the game's official novel build is about vampires, buddy. So I'm just going to turn down the music a bit on my headphones. I can't really hear anything. Hey, Jericho. Hashtag, or one hashtag, buddy. Let's get into it. We are building. And for those who climb beneath the wunsch-based cocktails and constructions, I suppose you need not to reach and enjoy such liqueurs, but it would certainly help. Opposed to bar, La Autumn Wonder spells the most decent of vintage imports at prices sure to make you scream. With a lot more at the restaurant Mocha largely isolated, the seduction of spending a small fortune on a single Spanish cigar, a middle one of that, seduces many men with those money in their little cents. One hashtag awesome. Keep it up, Jericho. The lovely tablecloth, the ambitious African pattern proudly sporting his made in China label. Since the partial closure of the Morpho builders due to its whole vampire thing, both China and Africa will sound equally exotic and contiguous to many residents of the world. But ambitious knickknacks are not what it seems for sure. Surely, if you're wanted the history of the more or less known books, I don't pronounce that completely wrong, you have picked a different vinyl. That was completely wrong. I just kept on going with it though. You're here for something more personal. A disco ball. I used to have one of those balls, I still do. I hung it above my bed. Inside like Dimitri, those in and out will love to drink and dance for a fair price and with a little fear of judgment. One of the few clubs on the east side of the mall without a interdistant sign on the door, that Dimitri was placed with curious young bands went to spend their money. These are vampires, yeah. Creepy looking fellas. Corentina and Apollo were such vampires of late dancing on Thursday night. They were in love, or at least that's what Apollo told himself. And as they slid, across the checkered dance floor, he whispered in her ear. Sorry guys, listen to audio. I only woke up. Your eyes cut me in half. I can't wait much longer. We'll go through all this. I gotta give him a different voice. Apollon Castel. He's got the same initials as Apollo Creed. And as he moved to embrace her with a brushed his index finger across her lips, pushing against his mouth. Darling, go! Save your hunger, little wolf. Quarantine. I can't pronounce her last name. As Quarantine slid her hand down Apollo's chest, she mentioned with her eyes something at the back of the club. That his chest? I was sliding it down something else, mate. That's a bit of feelings there for you. What did she say? Do her nose? Both of her noses? What the fuck? I was hoping she slid her hand down Danny's chest. If Mikey was here, he'd be down the pants. Not more than patient hunter. And as our dear friend Lux is... Was this what this is saying? Oh, sorry, wrong voice, guys. Lux is doing what your delicious favor. I gotta remember my voices. You don't want to spoil your appetite now, do you? Okay. Over by the bar, Corentina Apollo's classmate Lux was praying a frustrating club goers. Someone with the ears to lend a quick bite to up. It was something he'd like to do across. I promise with a compass. He wondered about disappointing his friend Apollo. Lux, Amanti, and Manti. I don't know. Lux was a water hunter, even if he didn't wish to become one. He always had a gift for seducing humans into offering them a drink from himself. Just a taste of really? Tonight was not an idea. No, it was Apollo. But here they were. When the three of them had entered the club, some 15 minutes earlier, Cohen and Tian had pointed out their mark. Jamaica a drink as La Dimitri most nights a week to forget, or at least to listen. The choke really work. They're ruining it with their over-breaking rock beat. I know. I had to turn it down. Because it's really, really annoying me. Jericho, theoretical question. I think you spelled that wrong, Jericho, but I get what you're saying, buddy. I get what you're saying. A lawyer of some kind, before the nearby fields were, he spends his days lawyering his deeds but forgotten. I do read the beat in the background is really, really bugging me. It's they could just shut it up now and just go to something else, I do believe. But yeah, sorry, Jericho. Sorry, Bill. It's still too loud. I'll turn it down. Let me see if I can turn it down. Okay, preferences. Okay, music. Let's get to the music. Is that better? How's that, Jericho? And how's that, builders? Everyone else? Ah, yes. Okay, so while we're here, let's just save it real quick before we get eaten by a vampire, maybe. Okay, his life was soon to be cut short. Tragic, yes, although his despise will be Lux's fault. Well, maybe his entire fault. But let's get not ahead of ourselves. Okay, excuse me. Lux approached the man. This seat taken? He doesn't say anything. There was no answer. Lux parked himself on the stool and leaned closer to him. The man looked disinterested. Lux was surely why Quarantine had picked him up in particular, but this was who she had chosen, and there was no backing out. There were two paths to hunt, disarming and ensnaring. Hard day? The man gave an annoyed look at the turn towards Lux. Listen, I just like to mind my own business, and there's always that brief moment of variability when someone realizes they are speaking to a vampire. In a fleeting gut check, a moment will stagger in his thoughts. There's a subtle fear in the man's eyes Lux knows too well. They answered that many black vampires in Lemoore, and Lux was reminded of that every day. Hey, I don't want any trouble. I just want to try to drink in peace. It's a theoretical question, yeah, but what's the question, Jericho? What is the question, buddy? Lux had his cool confidence that night brought out all the vampires. Of course, my man, no trouble, no harm meant. I'm simply looking for someone to talk to. So, I got no eyes or tears to lend you salt or... He was slurring his words. Did Quarantine really pick out a drunk? Having myself a bad week could... Listen, things I need, getting into trouble. I'm not here to get you into trouble. That's a woman. Oops. French names. Oh, yeah, French names are just hard to pronounce. All French words are hard to pronounce, unless you're French, of course, or can speak French. I'm having a nightmare with it. I just want to talk. I've been here having a shit time well lately. This time, it's like I don't even know which way what's up. Even since my cat went missing, my life's being a total mess. The man grimaced. Your cat? Lux nodded. Sounds kind of silly, right? Hold it. Am I giving this guy a... Hold on. I think I'm giving... Adamanti is a girl. I'm confused which words I'm giving. I'll just keep going. Well, you see those two over there? Lux lifted his arms with footing at the dance floor. Yeah, what do you remember about them? See, I'm guessing the girl, Quarantine is a girl, Apollo's a boy. Quarantine and Apollo moving like lovers did the best to ignore the attention Lux was drawing to them. The guy with the golden locks there's been my best friend for years. His name, Apollo. Anyway, we used to be the real close. See, Amanti, I don't think Amanti is a guy. I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Anyway, we used to be real close. I'm giving it as a guy. I could be completely wrong, guys, but it's a guy's voice now. See the question theoretical? Okay, Joker. But what's the question? Everything was good until La Crimina went missing. La Crimina disappeared, and I started having the worst luck. Apollo and I were starting arguing over nothing. I couldn't even tell you why they were upset half the time. Just a bad cloud, you know. And then she showed up. Quarantine. Cora, Apollo calls her. Ever since then, it's like I don't exist anymore. It's eating me in the inside. I barely see him anymore. It's why I'm here tonight. Tag along to their little feels like the only way I can get a chance to hang out with them. She ruined everything. So this is definitely a dude. I'm pretty sure it's a dude. Not this one though. This is Quarantine. Castell. Can you tell? What's his voice again? Can you tell me what Lux is saying? Okay. Making up a sorry sub story, sure. You think it's working? I don't know what voice is going with which anymore, guys. Sorry, I do apologize. Lux is looking out of the Poland. Dominic gave Lux a sympathetic smirk. Okay. Girl troubled her? Lux sensing he had a man's attention. Dominic was captured with Lux's voice, his composure in his eyes. It's a question that doesn't want to be answered. Fair enough, Jericho. Fair enough. Sorry to hear that. I'm giving in this voice now. Heck that. Next round's on me. What you having? I'm changing the voices up because the other voice started giving me a bit of a sore throat. Lux let out a small childish chuckle of embarrassment, letting his fangs answer for him. The man knew he wanted blood. Right, boss, still a question. The man tore towards the bar and called out the bartender. What's the pint of red gold for these days? What's the pint of red gold for these days? The bartender grimaced an eye of situation skeptically, sorry. 35 F for the 300ml bottle. We don't serve it in pints, sir. Blight eye, that's what bottom. It's a cost of living. How the bad even get by with prices like that? Poorly. Overhearing this, the bartender leaned forward at the bar and started. I won't be a second, guys. Just had to fix something for my daughter real quick. I do apologise. Over this, the bartender leaned forward, overheard the bar, and started wheeling his finger at Lux. Listen, kid, you best not play mimicking my clientele. Can't you read? That's gonna screw my voice too. The bartender phonetically stumbled a large sign behind the bar. I have no idea what that says. Miss Mere Internet. The sign was common in the clubs and the bars. That frigid acceptance of vampires. We accept the money, but not the funny business. The man turned to look at Lux again. He felt seemed vulnerable. Huh? You're not mesmerizing me, are you? Deception and control and the root of the vampire strips come from their powerful gaze. Gaze. It comes from their eyes. Mesmerizing, of course, illegal, and it's a definition of non-consenting. As a result, there is harsh incarcerations, penalties for even minor offences. Please, I might be hungry, but I'm not foolish. I'm not here for the same damn reason you are. To have a drink and forget about no worries. I'm here for the same damn reason, sorry guys. And forget about my worries. The man stared slightly at him for a few seconds. Besides, if I was mesmering you wouldn't be wondering about that. Lux winked at him as I lightly tapped the man's leg. The man chuckled, admiring Lux's beautiful eyes. Ha! Well enough. There's nothing else. Lux was effectively flirt. Listen, I wish I could help you with the 35F. It's too much for one drink. I can't just indebt myself in something I just not. The man was apologetic. Lux leaned back and stretched and gave a quick sign to Apollo in quarantine. It's not. You're right, friend. It is too much. The gouge up us with the prices to keep us out, to keep us hungry and made us scary. It's a vicious circle, however. He leaned over and whispered to Dominic's ear, placing a hand on his shoulder. There's another way we can help us out. Help us. Sorry, guys. I'm throwing words in now. The man slowly leaned forward, looking deep into Lux's dark, chanting eyes. Ooh, creepy. I like that moon. A broken red blood moon. Before she even stepped off the sky train, Honora knew this was a mistake. This is a mistake. Oh, Laura. I don't know. If it were up to her, she would be at home preparing for tomorrow's big interview, or better yet, getting a good night's rest. But it wasn't up to her. You don't have a choice to be a vampire. She took a crumpled piece of paper out of her pocket. Once again, guys, this game's brought to me today by Ratalaika Games or RatalaikaGames.com. Check them out. Big shout out, big thank you for sending me the game to stream. Let's get back into it. Her scribbled notes are treasure maps of sorts. Moonlight, Dinah, Far Ruth, seek of Lady of the Mask. She reminded herself that world word or worth the trouble. Julie, a trusted friend she had turned to in a moment of anxious desperation, had assured her that it would be. And why would be Julie lie? Oh, but to think of she'd come to a close to mouth of such. What a shame. It's got really like I wouldn't say artistic drawings in the background, but they're like real life pictures that have been taken and made dark and gloomy, kind of like that old Resident Evil 1 pictures. You know how you go into the cop station, it was like real life, but they kind of like made it darkened down, that type of thing. She looked. A lot of PlayStation games used to be like that. The PlayStation 1 games. She looked at her destination, a lonely neon-lit diner out of the middle of nowhere. This must be it. The 250 bills she had withdrawn from the bank account practically hummed in her pocket. It was the money she had. Her pay back the loan's money. It wasn't meant for something as foolish as this. She stood motionless for a moment. It wasn't too late to turn back. Just a slight misstep. No one would know if she had cancelled. Fuck it! She clenched her fist and began walking towards the diner. The smell of frying oil, bleach hit Aurora as she walked in. Oh, I just missed that word. Can we go back? Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Scanning the empty booth, Aurora quickly saw that she was what she was after. What the hell? A woman wearing what looked like a mouth mask was sitting in the booth away from the door. She was staring at Aurora. Aurora wasn't sure what she had expected, but it wasn't this. You're late! There was a soft squiver of her voice, a vulnerability hiding behind the mask. Aurora could tell she was nervous too. I didn't think you were expecting me. What, you could think I would hang out in this place like this just happen? A customer stopped by? Were you followed? The woman turned and looked out the window. I don't think so. You sure? Aurora recalled her trip off the SkyTrain from La Di Why would anyone follow me? The woman turned back towards Aurora. She looked seriously anxious. No, I wasn't followed. Good. Have a seat. The masked woman gestured at the booth. Aurora slid into the seat across from her. She took a deep breath. Relax, this is a simple transaction. Aurora took a good look at the woman behind the mask. She's smiling, spindly arms, petite frame. She didn't seem that threatening. It was a nightmare time. It was nighttime after all. So the things went south. She had initially advantage. She seemed wary and appealing by the sizing up Aurora. She was looking at Aurora's forearms. Is it moisture? Aurora paused. Sorry? Your skin. I knew vampire skin glistened at night, but I'd never seen it so close before. She leaned forward. I'd have to spend a day bathing in moisture lotions to get mine looking as smooth as yours. Aurora wasn't sure how to respond. Everyone knew glistering skin at night was the easiest way to spot a vampire. Fangs can be trimmed and a love of sunshine can be fringed, but moonlight never lies. As they say, mice hide white bat's brow. Oh, the near full moonlight tonight, Aurora's dark amber skin was positively radiant. So, is it the moisture in the air that keeps it looking so smooth? I don't know. She hadn't come here to answer those kind of questions. Listen, can we just keep this moving? I really don't want to miss my last train home. Okay. The woman nodded and placed a large briefcase on the table. She unlocked the briefcase and pulled out. What'd she pull out? What the hell? It's a dildo! Sorry guys, I had to throw that in. Here it is, the purest flesh's blood available anywhere in Lamar. 0 preservatives, Advantage? This is still sugars? None of that shit. We're talking untamed blood, so pure, so clean. It's like sinking your teeth into fireworks. Aurora held back a mournful cry. The hair of her arms shot up, straight off their all. An electric hunger for a slave burned inside her. How'd you get this? The masked woman waved away her concern. That's for me to worry about. Needless to say, there ain't your government ration of red water. Just a sip of this would take you where you need to go. How much? 500. No, not the whole thing. I just need one vial. That is the price for one vial. 2 grand for the whole briefcase. Aurora recoiled. Eyes, here. I thought blood flowers prices were bad. The masked woman shook her head, visibly frustrated. I skimmed this off the top of the blood clinics before blood flow gets their dirty hands on this loot. Believe me, you don't want to know what blood flow would charge you for something this pure. Aurora's couldn't believe that she was hearing. She was sure the 250 she'd brought was more than enough to cover what she needed. Just one drink is to last her to tomorrow. Can I get half a vial for 250? What? No! This ain't a fucking auction. Sweetheart, I'm risking my ass doing this. I'll tell you what, it ain't for money, that's for sure. All the money goes to charity. Charity? Hexing you did, dude. You think I want this bloody money for my conscience? A cross groveled. Which charity? Does it matter? The whole thing was a joke. If it's not for money, then why are you here? She looked at Allura, frustrating, welling up in her eyes. You incompetent. I'm trying to fix a problem, and this is the only way I know how. By selling overpriced blood to vamps? No, by taking from the rich and giving to the poor. My name. I'm sorry to that, guys, and I was going to say, my name's Robin Hood. You think I'm the rich? 250 is literally all my savings. She shook her head, sighing. No, it's you. It's... The woman reached around and pulled off a mask. I can't see shit with this. She cried? Aurora was caught off guard. She could see a tear in the woman's eye. I thought you were worried I was going to misbuy you. I think you're whole a lot smarter than that. I've also... She signed. You don't have so fucking Mesmer. You can't have it. Mesmer? Me? You can have it. What? The woman pushed the briefcase closer to Allura. Take it all of it. Something was up. Allura couldn't tell why, of course, the change of heart. The woman had a hopeless air about her and seemed defeated. Listen, I don't need that. I don't need all that. Really, I've got a big day tomorrow. I just wanted a little something to keep me going until then. I'm done with the processed stuff. I just wanted to taste the real thing. It's been so long, she thought. The real thing? You're cute as a button. Why not bag yourself a boyfriend? Turn him into your personal wine press. Aurora didn't answer. A pang jolting through her. A pang followed by a wave of clarity. It was time to go. All this was a momentary lapse of judgment. She started getting up. This whole thing was a mistake. I'm sorry I wasted your time. Wait. The woman's eyes lit up. It was truly what they say. She gently reached out her hand towards Aurora's arm. What are you? Is it true vampires are more active at night? Active? You know. The woman hesitated to put her arm in front of Allura, the tip of her fingers nearly touching her. Because if you want to bite me... Allura jerked her arm away. I have to go. Aurora left her dining empty-handed. Had a wad of cash neatly rolled in her pocket. She had been right. This was a bad idea. It was time to go home. Still would have taken the briefcase, though. She left the diner and walked quickly back to the SkyTrain station. Her heart beat fast, in sync with her steps. Her only hope was to catch the last train home. Taxis weren't to come out by here in the middle of nowhere. Just my luck. Oh, is that the moon? The blurry moon? She was upset with herself. None of this would have happened if she wasn't a vamp. None of these urges, none of the thoughts. What an embarrassment. All this bullshit that the night before, most importantly day of her life. There we go, there's that beautiful blood moon. And so close to the full moon, nonetheless. No less, sorry. It's got that kind of like 60s feel to it too, doesn't it, guys? It'll be okay. I promise. In the alleyway behind the Domici, Lux was soothing the man he'd recently met as his friends drank from him. It feels warm. His voice was calm and toneless, and so soft tears streamed down his flushed cheeks. I thought it would hurt. Of course not, we're vampires, not animals. Lux sat near the man's waist and stroked his side of his head. You're doing so well, it won't be much longer now. I'm so proud of you. You are? Does he turn into a vampire now? Once you get bitten by a vampire, don't you turn into a vampire? That's how I always thought. That's how all the movies taught me. Lux smiled. I am, and tomorrow morning when you wake up, I want you to remind yourself that tonight you've done something good. You made an impact, however small, fixing a broken system. Something good, something good. Lux clapped his palms to his hand's temple and leaned too close. Yes, indeed. My dear, you've fed the poor. Or fed one of them, at least. None of this was Lux's idea. He hated freeing strangers like this. And it had become routine since Corotine first started tagging along. She drank first, always. Lux kept the target soothed and reassured why Corotine was to take the first bite, usually right in the carotid artery. He didn't mesmer them. That would cause too much trouble. He simply convinced the target that donating a bit of their blood to them was the right thing to do. Corotine, satisfied, withdrew her fangs from the bleeding man. He's all yours, sweetling. Apollo continued with the left off. She left off, sinking his teeth in the exact same holes Corotine had made. The technique of snaring a communal wounds hold was a height of vampire eroticism. Among teens, the young adults in love, it's a lot more sincere than it just sounds, trust me. Oh! Pardon me, guys. Excuse me. Apollon reeled back, spitting blood of the cold cement behind them. Blind me! I'm already buzzing up this guy. You had to pick a serious boozer, ex-Lux. Hey, don't blame me. She chose it. Corotine began to rub the back of Apollon's neck, soothing him with for her little child. Hush, sweetie, drink up. Hearing her sweet talk, Apollon caused piercing tension to bristle along Lux's spine. He turned his focus back to the bleeding man. If my mum finds out I'm drunk because of this, I'll be in so much shit. My sweet child, you'll flush out in the morning. Corotine moved her hand up to the back of Apollon's neck and pushed him back down to the man beneath them. Now drink up, it's nearly the full moon, and I won't have to make any excuses. She chuckled as she shoved him back down. Apollon moaned as he drove back into another drink. They pre-whimpered. Lux continued stroking the man's cheek. Oh, it's okay, friend. Lux tapped Apollon on the shoulder. Hurry up, man. Lux could give up being hungry, and he could deal with waiting a bit longer for his turn to feed. But what he couldn't deal with the way the Corotine Apollo acted around him. She was equal parts rough and tender Apollon, and it made Lux's skin crawl. This is The flush of the man's cheeks was beginning to fade and turn creamy white. The man was still fine, but Lux knew there was only so much longer he could take before causing the man some real harm. Alright, he's starting to pale. My turn. You hurt him. Quarantine pulled Apollo's hair, reeling him back as she kissed his temple. Ah! Apollon's eyes rolled back. He emitted a guttural, estuary growl. There. With Apollo in her efforts, Quarantine kissed and licked a blooded face as they leaned towards thumping against a large garbage bin. Lux was also used, then making it out everywhere they went. He focused his attention on the man moaning. It was his turn to eat, finally. Just a little bit longer. Lux ran his right hand along the man's cheek. With his thumb, he pressed down the virgin spot of his skin, opposed to the Lux's Quarantine had drunk. He began to rub his thumb in a circular motion warming the skin. I felt like my soul is watching my body decay. Eyes. This is where the guys thought Lux. Shh, you're going to be fine. I'm going to bite you now. And as Lux was about to sink his fangs into the man's neck, he heard sirens. And not just any sirens. There are 3 throws. Is that Upper troops? Quarantine bolted up. We have to go. Lux looked at her. Wait, you think that's after us? How would they? The bartender. The bartender. Fuck! He must have called the Protro when he saw the seducing guy right in front of him. We'll just say police. You should have mismirrored the bartender, Lux. It's a crowded bar. I wasn't about to mismirror anyone. You can't stay here. Come on. Quarantine held out her hand to Swallow and pulled him up to his feet. This is the end. Lux and Apollo turned to look at the man on the ground. He wasn't looking great. Oh, what about him? He'll be fine. He doesn't sound fine. We can't just leave him here. Yeah, he seems really wasted. Dude, sprouting some really heady shit. He's just being a melodramatic drunk. She turned and looked at Lux and winked. Poor Luxies. Just jealous he didn't get a gift sip. Now, come on. As the sirens grew louder, Quarantine led Apollo and Lux up to the fire escape as they back of the alley. The last thing Lux needed was a night in apocalyptic custody, something he'd mostly been able to avoid up until now. Once they reached the roof that led to Michi, they ducked down and hid, waiting. The sirens faded away in the distance. They weren't coming for them. That's it. False alarm, false alarm. Lux took a long, deep breath, nothing to fear. The shit ain't worth the risk. Speak for yourself, dude. I'm on the top of the world right now. Lux turned around to see Apollo in quarantine and embraced the articles of clothes being to come off. Hex me. You're all doing this right here, right now? They ignored me at first, their faces deep into each other's. Unbuttoned her shirt. Quarantine slunk her back to Lux. Look at Lux. You're the one making this uncomfortable, Luxie. Yeah, come on, give us a bit of privacy. Apollo gave his apologetic smile before turning back to Quarantine. Lux felt a sinking feeling. He stood over them as he for a few more seconds, shaking his head. Total dogs. He might have felt this heartache more if he hadn't worked up such an appetite. Eyes. He decided to go check on the prey below, so he was see how he was doing. Maybe a quick taste of him if he was up for it. Leaving them in their bloodlust, Lux made his way down to the fire escape back to the alley. He could hear the moaning and grunting louder above. Lux buried his nails into her palms. They're getting it on, guys. They're getting jiggy with it. Vampire love. But something was way off when he reached the ground. The man, as the juice was gone. What? Lux looked around the corner down the street, even poked his head back into the club. Nothing. Where'd he? Lux debated calling up an Apollon and quarantine, but decided against it. He couldn't stand being around the two of them when they were acting like blinding animals. Shit! Lux left the alleyway. It was late enough as it was. He figured it would be best to just head home, maybe raid the fridge for some red water, then go to sleep. Not as good as the real stuff, but blood was blood. What about some red wine? Red wine. Stay close to me. Sorry guys, couldn't help that. There was a school tomorrow, after all, and Mary was surely chasing him to hell and back for the not telling her where he'd gone out. And he hadn't told her he'd call her tonight. Whatever, too late now. Lux made his way home, trying as hard as he could not to think about what better time Apollon and Quarantine were likely having. That fucking man, that fucking... Sorry for this language, guys, but that's what it is. This game's a little bit dark. Actually, it is a dark visual novel. Vampire love, a lot of swearing, a lot of drinking blood, and getting jiggy with it. He stepped to look at the moon, cracked and torn as the day was born. It was nearly full. Lux closed one eye, flattened his preparation, and reached his hand up above him. The moon in his palm of his hand. He put his hand down and kept walking. Across the moon. As I said, this game's about 6 to 10 hours long. Over 100,000 words in this game, and it's taken me 48 minutes, roughly 48 minutes to get just to the first part of the game, through the first part, to give me the title of the game. Moon looks back. Having missed the last train, Lux had to walk home. He arrived just as the sun and his family had begun to rise. And where in all heavens have you been? Moser and Manted. That's his mum, I'm guessing. Is that what kind of kids do nowadays? Let their mothers worry the night away? I had to work this morning, you know. I'm exhausted. It was practically the full moon last night, Lux. Sorry, Ma. I was gonna call and... You're not sorry. You're just trying to sneak back home. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? It's alright, Ma. I was just hanging out with Mary. She's been tutoring me, helping me study for the history test. Oh, is that so? Yeah, I guess I just ran a little longer than I missed the last train home. So I had to walk, you know how it is. Mrs. Moser Manty was not a gullible woman. She raised her eyebrows. Her lips twisted and curled. Her helpless son had blindly given away his lie. So you were studying with Mary, huh? Where were you? Yeah, that's where it was, I swear. Mary, prim and proper, was the closest Lux had ever been having a girlfriend. Lux Marie Apollon were the best of friends growing up, but ever since Apollon found himself a girlfriend, Lux Maria's feelings had been given a chance to mature into something bordering and romantic. Maria was one of the few people Moser liked seeing his son spend time with. Better with her than the other vampires. Well then, I'm going to need you help unpacking the condominium. Why is that the Mary called me with no less than 3 minutes time last night if you were home, or if it heard from you? Oh, crap. Explain me the works. Hi. You were with Apollon and his girlfriend, weren't you? Lux might have been able to muster more of a convincing lie that the moon still been out, but in the morning now, he was tired. He tried to brush off his mother. Listen, Ma, don't worry about me. Vamps own the night. Moser held back a chuckle, rolling her eyes. Oh, don't give me that corny shit. And you know you're being vamps, exactly where you were carefully at night. I don't care how the moonlight makes you feel. If you trio of vampires are out if you trio of vampires out you little more than a threatening target. It was always with such speech my man was a faint, and she knew the half of the Lux is getting into. You don't get me, Ma. I do get you. I do get it, sorry. Now hush and eat some breakfast. I don't care if you're tired, you're not going too late for school. Moser was always one of the last words, turned and made her way back of the room. Lux began to untie his shoes. He let out a sigh of relief when he didn't see his father work boots in the entrance. It seemed he was still at work. They lived at the 15th floor of an apartment building out of a part of town called Unedited. It was a name of a certain coarse irony of the wealth city planners and government officials tasked with the design of homes at a booming vampire populace of some 15 years ago. It was a dissident, a dense, overcrowded, low-income housing with maintenance and permanently tossed down the bottom of the priority list. Most vampires lived out here. Even though the wealthy, before their waking, before they started showing signs of being indifferent, found themselves stripped away from their essence and wealth. After the Sooner Affair of Act 1966 was a return of the awakening never took infection into considerance and forcing them to live in one place they pardon could afford. Lighted the dance. Lux was born and raised here. Moser was in the kitchen preparing breakfast. His sister Honora was sitting at the table reading the newspaper. She looked up at Lux. You look like shit! She had also been born into the apartment 6 years before Lux. Next to her newspaper was half-finished croissant. Lux ignored the comment and made his way to the fridge and pulled out some re-drops. They were small red pellets you either took straight or dissolved in water to better pretend you were drinking blood. It was barely real blood, of course. It was a shit of the government and drug companies put together to saturate the funding demands of burgeoning vampire populace about half a century back. Re-jobs would have us do for now. Still riding that third wheel bullshit? Beat it. Lux took a seat at the table next to his sister. He swallowed the re-drops and took a bite of his croissant. You're wasting your time, man. Apollo's moved on. Ha 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 ha. He's got a girlfriend now. Your body days at one brother. Apollo put her newspaper down, took a sip of her cup and grimaced. Lux didn't having to look at her mug to know what she was drinking. The smell alone overpowered everything else in the room. Since when were you drinking coffee? Since right now, thank you very much. Is that your scent sauce of blending with your fragrance? Good luck, man. That shit's rank. It's not. It's just a sympathetic flavoring of dude like you. It's... Aurora took another sip. Once again, guys, sorry for my pronunciation of some words. I'm crap, I know. But if you like what you see, guys, feel free to give me a follow. And if you're watching this later back on my YouTube channel, I do appreciate the sub. Thank you in advance, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's... She put down her mug back down the table, defeated. It's ash. It's liquid ash straight up. Ha! No one is going to drink coffee if you don't want it, dear. That's not how real life works. And here's breakfast, dears. Moser dropped the plate in front of Lux. He spotted 2 more re-drops next to the croissant. I just ate my re-drops, Ma. Give them to your sister then. I'm good, thanks. Aurora looked at the Pures with a disgusted look. Listen, I know one's gonna make me drink coffee. Sorry, guys. But it's where the only drinking red water. Everyone is sipping black and raises a few eyebrows. And the last thing I need is eyebrows raised. Everyone already thinks I'm going to eat him or drop out of the hat. Yeah, man, fuck eyebrows. Aurora glared at her brother. That's not how it takes to make my point, idiot. You're being dramatic, dear, sorry. Am I? Lux chimed in. Lux chimed in. I'm concur. Much dramatic, dear. Aurora reached out and smacked Lux on the side of the head. Ah! Nice, what was that for? Fuck off, dude. Aurora didn't hit his brother. Lux, stop teasing your sister. Don't forget, this is her big day. Oh, right, that. Oh, there's a job interview again. At 900 hours, place called Pharmacist Institute, right inside the blood flow offices. Moser put a hand to the daughter's shoulders. And we believe you're a sweetie. You worked so hard to get there, and with all love, I don't need them to love me. I just need them not to hate me. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of working hard, I had a call from your teacher yesterday, Lux. She told me, don't you? Double crap. 2020 in my art test? Yes, I know, Mom. Ha! Did I mention how good the results are? I really appreciate you going out and getting this fresh results every morning. By the way, haven't mentioned that before? Moses sighed. You can't jam your way through life, Lux. You spend your days lollygagging around the privileges none of them actually have. And you can only fringe for long enough before reality catches up with you. What do you think will happen when you graduate? The blood ain't free, Mom! And I don't know what you do right now. What if you got some girl pregnant? At the Aurora sister, I laughed. Mom, okay, I'm full, showering. Then I'm off. Lux motioned to get up. You barely touched your plate. Just not hungry when you start talking about that stuff. As Lux left the room, he picked up his mother on the forehead. Gotta go, Mom. Good luck with the interview, sis. See ya, Lux. Don't you think you can smooth talk your way out of punishment? I'm telling your father about this as soon as he gets home. He stepped staggered. I'm telling your father was always the nuclear option. Lux left his mother and sister and made his way to the bathroom, hoping the blast of cold water would shake him alive before he could leave for school. Aurora poked the remaining flaky bits of pastry Lux abandoned on his plate. Last thing she needed was her stomach rumbling in the middle of her interview. Moses stood by the door afraid. What will become of my son? Tell me, how has you turned out so night? Right in the sorry, let's tell me this. Tell me, how is it you turned out so right, yet your brother? Just give him some space, Ma. He's still mopping around like a mirror, like going missing. Moses shook her head. I never should have let him take that cat in. She sat down and Lux to sit and help Laura finish his plate. He looks like to you, He tries his hardest to act cool all the time, but listen, if I spoke to him about school, about who to spend time with. A zebra doesn't lose his stripes just by standing next to a pack of horses. Who cares if he wants to spend his time with the other vamps? I know, but how do you expect him to live a normal life if he spends all his nights out late? He's a wreck every morning. So that's what her mother was badly wanting for him, a normal life. Oh, you're scared him turning up like a papa. Moses started up and began clearing the plates. Don't be pushovers, dear. You're scared him gonna be stuck as a vampire bubble like Dad? Obviously the outside world. Only hanging out with other like-minded vampires. Anyway, the regular human society. Is that it? I just went with the best for my son. I just want the best for my son. Moser went to the kitchen and started washing dishes. Right. Aurora looked at the clock in the wall. 07:55. I should get moving. Can't be late. Of course, dear. I know you're going to do great. And remember, regardless of how it goes, your father and I will always believe in you. She took her mother's words in for a moment. Thanks, Mom. Unconditional support from my parents wasn't as good as viral flesh blood, but for now, it would have to do. After last night's desperate mistake, she found her resolve and abstinence from drinking any blood. She would try to stick to coffee for the time being. That's it, if she could stomach more than a single sip of it. But Aurora tried to stay positive. Her non-blaze streak was still strong, 28 days without a drop. If it ain't human, what the hell is? She got up, kissed her mother on the forehead, and left the kitchen. Oh, is that? How curious. Anna, do you see this? This is inside Aurora's coffee cup. I'm sure that isn't supposed to be there. Anna, this is going to sound like a strange request, but would you mind pressing B? Press B, guys, and what happened then? Achievement unlocked. Claire's Journey, Volume 1. Okay, that's the Volume 1. How strange. It must have been a false memory etched into the vinyl. Now, where were we? So I think it's an old Mercedes. Something terribly happened off the Win-Win Road last night. I cry for help. It's like a boat ramp kind of thing. A police car stopped by the side of the road. Ruruku waited the passenger seat, delaying the inevitable. Her new partner, Inspector Saar, he had gotten out the car and was smacking his way to the pier towards something she didn't want to see. This is that dude that's dead, I reckon. It was Ruruku's second morning in Lemoore. She had been transferred from Tokyo as part of her exchange of informant between the Japanese and American governments in the topical of bloody vampire presence. She had been in Lemoore for only a few days, yet her flight felt like years ago, such the effect of the place of visitors. Renuka waited. Renuka Otsuki. She looked away at the pier and a small rosary of the dashboard. Curious thing, that. Alright, it was time. Let's just see what it is real quick, guys. She made her way towards the edge of the pier as she saw the lake surrounded her. The call of waves, crawling gusts, the mist in the prows, the smell of salt in the brine, the smell of salt. The whole thing nervously nostalgic of the older time, a simpler time. It reminded her of the ocean, a real ocean, far away. Not the stories that screw up in a river. Excuse me, a river. She had grown up in the inland of Nara, Japan, before moving to Yokohama, the coast as a young adult. It was in Yokohama she discovered a graduate of the Pacific. But beggars have clumsy closes, so her an older river that locals called it, was a close to recluse. Get the close to alive she belonged to place behind. Reaching to the end of the pier, Rakuru ducked under the police tape and saw, you know what she saw. Is that the dude that got sucked the blood? 2 police officers crouching in the blood. It was a photograph of a dead man. The second officer was her new partner, drowned on the knee and inspecting the victim. Hearing Rakuru's approach, she stood up, faced her. Wonder if is it the dude that's dead? You reckon? Like they sucked blood from? What was his name? I don't know. I forgot. Demetrius, I think it was. How's this for welcome party? Ha ha ha! Gaspar. He looks French, doesn't he? His warm laugh helped out at ease. Do you always go your way for new recruits, Inspector? Only vampires such as yourself? Riggers lets a nervous smile before looking at the deceased. Call came in an hour ago. The doc found him here. Said he wasn't here last night when he punched in at 2300. Ruka approached the body. He's been dead for less than 12 hours. Bruised his arms, wrists and feet. No shoes or socks. Small knife wound on his chest. Maybe not, guys. No other obvious wound excuse. Except for his eyes, of course, which you can see are missing. His eyes are missing. Luckily we found him before the tide washed him away. Well, lucky for at least the sake of it. Guess it's all time the same for him. Cause of death? To be determined, I'm guessing blood loss on his chest wound. I just hope the poor bastard breathed his last before someone scooped his damn eyes out. Can't imagine that being the greatest sensation in the world. Roku crashed down the victim. He smelled of blood and booze. I think it might be this dude. The 2 wound marks in the man's throat started her. She felt of hairs in the back of his neck. She knew what it was. These fang marks? Yes. Roku sincerely took a step back. Blood corpse. And she had plenty of back home, but things were different out here. The small marks on the man's neck punctured Roku's remaining hope that this was just a dream, a misunderstanding. There were vampires here, real ones. She began to nervous, feeling nauseous. Inspector Otsuki? She took a deep breath. It's the first time I've seen a bite marks in the wild, outside of the textbooks. Forget what you've read. This is a bat country, after all. You get used to it. Ruka was no means native about vampires. On her flight over, she had read the primary of vampire biology, history, and philosophy she had been given. And of course, back home, she'd read all of the Clemicals and Draculas of the world. But the difference, they were fiction. This was real. Inspector Sar turned his attention towards the car, coming to stop next to him. Builders says, what the fuck's with all their noses? All fell asleep on their cups. Maybe Builders is drinking too much coffee. What the hell is he doing here? Ruka looked at the large black vehicle. 3 people emerged from it. Inspector Sar turned and to the other officers, taking photographs of the victim. Did you call the authority? No, sir. Well, the hell, this is great. Inspector Sar, good morning. Look at this dude's hair and his hat. Felix Jagwink. A tall, handsome man with a crossing the police tape. He smiled at Richard's sake. He was franked by 2 officers, grabbed in decorated costumes, appropriate knight arms and the mask. What the hell is he dressed as? Gaspar puffed at his chest and spoke with a serious, clippered voice. Capitan, Jurek, a pleasure. What brings you here this morning? The young man brought a finger to Inspector Sarfis. Just a moment, Inspector. Capitan Juliet, what? Starting the rookie, his wolf eyes looked surprised and hungry. Who is this? Inspector Kozi, she just came here from Japan. We're top inspector in the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. We have her alone as part of the international exchange of information. We're ready to learn Tokyo's finest proceeds when she what's like to live in a place populated with vampires. Well, I'm afraid you're the losing end of the argument. Minimosi. Our country is decaying. We are very pleased to have her. I had no idea that Commons had working relations from outside the police forces. How funny it would be to have kept the secret from me of all people, and from Japan no less. I've read so much about the wondrous country. What a beautiful place. Uncertain how she understood, Felix Jokodiki continued in a loud voice. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Capitan Jokodiki. That's not how you pronounce it, but it sounds cool. Jokodiki set his arm out to Uruku, but she went to shake it. He pulled his back. Oh, forgive me. I've read the handshake and consider a touch too forward in your home country. Correct? How about a bow instead? Where's he gone? With his hands steadily wearing the white black hat, Jack bowed forward with his ease and grace and stared at the taking a curtain call. Rhea retracted her hand and gave Hebe a quick, awkward nod. Nice to meet you, Capitan. What we're going to do, guys, we're just going to save it up right now. Whoops. Actually, I didn't save it up, did I? Oh, shit. Apologise. Okay, save it up. I'm going to take a break right now. Sorry, guys. I've got things to do right now. I do apologise. Let me just tell you, that's called Cross the Moon. That's the first part gameplay of Cross the Moon, the visual novel about vampires. It's quite dark. If I had to give a review rating right now for a visual novel, guys, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I like the darkness of the game. I like the swearing. It's dark. All the other visual novels we've played so far by Ratalaika Games have been like, apart from the comic ones of Vera Blanc, which were great. Love them. Check them out, guys. Vera Blanc. If you've never played those games, check it out. All the other visual novels we've played have been kind of like happy-go-lucky ones. But this one's dark. People are dead. And it's vampires sucking blood, getting it on, getting jiggy with it. It's a lot of swearing. I'm liking it. So 8 out of 10 so far, guys. As I said, it's about 6 to 10 hours long, over 100,000 words. So depending on how fast you can read, that's how long it's going to take it. So it's quite a long one. It's just been released today, the 18th of June 2021. It's available for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series S and X, the PS4 and the PS5. And for those who are playing at home, I played today on the Xbox Series X. So guys, I hope you like what you saw today. If you do, please feel free to give me a follow on Twitch by just hitting that heart icon. I do appreciate it. And if you're watching it back later on my YouTube channel, thank you for watching it. And please, below guys, hit that sub button. I do appreciate it, and thank you in advance. I'd like to thank everyone for coming past today and watching this stream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, big shout out to Ratalaika Games for sending me this game. Thank you, Ratalaika Games. Guys, go and check them out. The link's in my chat menu. Just go and check them out, guys. RatalaikaGames.com. Guys, take care of yourselves and ones you love. Don't forget to feed your pets. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Bye for now.